Hello everybody, back with another video. So I have mentioned in the past that I would do some videos showing my video gaming collection. So I think I've said I've got Sega Mega Drive games, Xbox 360, PS1, PS2, PS4, PS5 and original Xbox. So first video is Mega Drive games. So when I was younger I had a Mega Drive. The first game I played on it was Sonic the Hedgehog. Sure people know that. Yeah, I first played it, the colours, the graphics at the time, the music, everything about it, I was just like blown away. I think before that I had an Atari as a kid, and then a Spectrum Sinclair. Don't know if anybody remembers them, but they used to load sort of tapes. You have to wait for it to load and put in a password to even get it to play, then sort of turn the tape over and rewind it halfway through, if I can remember. But yeah, they weren't great graphics on those games, so when I think my neighbour had Sonic the Hedgehog, must have been when I was like 7 or 8 years old. Played it in the summer around his house in the summer holidays, so it must have been about August, and then got it for Christmas a few months later. So yeah, I got the Mega Drive. I think I had like 2 controllers, and Sonic was the first game. Don't think it was built in. I think I actually had like the cartridge of it. But yeah, really sort of nostalgic memories for me, the Mega Drive. So as an adult now, I've been trying to get all the games back, and then a few I didn't have. But my main priority is re-getting the games I had as a kid, or at least the good ones. Yeah, so I've sort of been buying most of them in CEX, a few sort of second-hand game shops around my area. But yeah, I'll get on with it and show you them. I won't talk about them too long. I know a lot of my normal viewers watch my sort of movie, film contents and collection. Done a couple on like music, CDs and stuff, so I know it's not everybody's thing in like retro gaming, so maybe some different people will be watching this, but yeah, on with it. So I've got them in alphabetical order, getting them down from up on the top shelf. Aladdin, Disney's Aladdin. But yeah, this is one of the best gameplay, graphics. A lot of Disney games weren't great, like Fantasia, for example, is an awful game. But yeah, this is one of the best of the Disney ones, I think. Got a few other Disney, I'll show you when I get to them. But yeah, that one, Disney's Aladdin. And this is a weird one, because on the side it only says Arena, which is actually the maker, not the publisher, what do you call them, the game developer. Let me see who it's published by. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's made by Arena, but yeah, the actual game is Alien Free. So yeah, weird. It doesn't sort of say that on the side. I think a few other Arena games just have this on the side, the Arena logo, without the actual title. Yeah, let you have a little look. Yeah, I found this one really creepy as a kid. Used to play it around my mate's house. Around my mate, should I say. Not only is it a hard game, but if you don't save the hostages in time, then chest bursters all burst out their chests. Yeah, I must have played this when you were like 7 or 8 and found it quite... Yeah, probably a bit older, yeah, because obviously, like I said, Sonic was the first game I played, so... Yeah, I went around my mates and he had this, obviously before I'd seen the film. Main character you play as is Ripley, and obviously she's got a shaved head in the movie, so we always thought it was some bloke, but I guess it's meant to be Ripley. Yeah, really hard sort of puzzle game, strategy. Didn't really get very far on it, but yeah, I used to find this quite a creepy one. Aquatic games. So there were some games called James Pond Robocod, which is like a kind of platforming game, obviously like a joke on some like film series. And this is like their Olympic kind of thing. So yeah, you've got all different. Let's see if I can show you the back. Got a game with the seal, Sammy the Seal, I think he's called. He keeps the beach ball up in the air, so you've got to keep running left to right. One where you feed fish. You've got like hop, skip, and jump. Got one on like a bouncy castle. This one, let me just see the back. Yeah, when you ride like a unicycle as a shark. Just like a kind of fun party game, really. But yeah, I used to play that one a lot as a kid. This one was, I think they wanted it to be the new mascot instead of Sonic, but it never really picked up. Bubsy. This one, when I got it, was real cheap in CX, about £3-4. But it was in quite bad condition with a lot of marks on the case. And then this had like stickers all over the cartridge. The manual was a bit messy and it kind of smelled a bit like, I wouldn't say mould, but if anybody remembers doing PE, and then you'd come home with your, I say football boots, used to do the same for rugby, and when they made us play field hockey and stuff, I'd leave them in the boot bag for like half term or the 6-week holidays, and all the mud was sort of turned rotten and it kind of smelled a bit like that, so I had to clean it up. Yeah, I haven't replayed it since recently, but I know it was a bit maligned when it came out. Everyone thought it'd be like the next Sonic, and it never really was that, but it tried to make Bubsy as a mascot. I think there's a Bubsy 2, which I don't have. A Disney game, not based on a film, it's like an IP, obviously with Mickey Mouse, Cat of Illusion. Yeah, this is one of the best games on the Mega Drive. Really good graphics for the time, good gameplay, amazing music. Quite an easy game, so I think I did complete this one when I was younger. But yeah, out of all the sort of... You've got Disney games based on films, like say Aladdin and a few we'll see later, whereas this is just obviously based on the Mickey Mouse character. I think I've got another 2 or 3, another one maybe, Mickey Mouse spin-offs, but yeah, really loved this one as a kid. Played it recently, still really good. Got Cool Spot, which is a Virgin game. Virgin Games, should I say? I think you've got another 1 or 2 Virgin games up there. But yeah, this was 1993. Felt like one of the later Mega Drive games, but I don't think it was. But yeah, the graphics were quite cutting edge at the time, and yeah, it's quite a fun game to play with some quite nice sort of graphical styling. Desert Strike. This was more one, I didn't really understand this when I was a kid. I think my neighbour's dad used to play this. I think this has always been known as a game that dads would play and kick their kids off the console. But yeah, you've got a certain amount of fuel and ammo, and you go around as like an Apache helicopter, and you get missions. You have to sort of fight, like, what do you call them? Like the enemy army, pick up ammo, pick up hostages, take them to the depot. It's quite a strategical game. I think the one we played when we was younger was the original box art, whereas this is like a classic kind of one, so I think it's a bit harder to find. Dragon's Fury, a Tengen game. It's basically a pinball game, but with kind of horror sort of background settings. As you could see, there's like a pentagram on one level. I thought it was going to be more medieval sort of Dungeons and Dragons style. I think most of these I do have the manuals for. A few rarer ones I have picked them up without the manual, but I try and get the manual if I can help it. Ecco the Dolphin. This was like quite a Sega mascot, or at least meant to be. Yeah, amazing music on this. Really sort of ambient, not Pink Floyd kind of style, but yeah, kind of really relaxing, sort of chilling music. Really good gameplay, original game. Good graphics. Really hard game, actually. Quite a sort of puzzle strategy game. But won't go into it too much, but the last boss, it basically goes into horror territory. And you won't really see it coming. And then the sequel to that, Echo Tides of Time. I don't think I played this one as a kid. Haven't played it since I picked it up as an adult, to be fair. But looks a good one. Yeah, some of these I've only picked up quite recently, so I haven't got round to them. Obviously, with my current games I play on PS5 and other retro systems. Yeah, I've got about 38 of these, so it's quite hard to sort of get round to them all. Flashback, this was cutting edge at the time for its sort of cinematic graphics. Yeah, one I played as a kid but didn't own, but played it around my mate's house and really enjoyed it. This one I owned. It's a lot better than it looks. I think this is a Virgin Games as well, but obviously it's based on McDonald's. So it's called Global Gladiators, and you have these slime guns, and you go around fighting these slime creatures, and then there's like bonus levels where you have to catch trash into like, well, recycling, should I say. So you've got to put the bin for glass, the bin for cardboard, and the bin for plastic underneath the fallen objects. Catch them all. But yeah, better than it should be, really, that one, being this is a McDonald's IP. Green Dog. It's like a kind of surfer. Didn't have this one as a kid, but did play it around my mate's house and really liked it. But yeah, this is the it's the Mega Drive version. But, oh yeah, so it's got the Genesis game inside, but in a Mega Drive box with a Genesis manual. So sorry, yeah, the outside is a Mega Drive box, but with Genesis interior. So yeah, I didn't know if that would work on my Mega Drive, but it does. I played that recently with my mate. One of my favourite films ever, and a really good game, although so hard we couldn't get past level 1, I don't think, as kids. So you have to sledge around on your little sledges, Kevin, between the houses, and then when you see the wet bandits, Harry and Marv, I think they're called, yeah, going to loot a house, you have to sort of intercept them, set up all your traps ready, so if I go in and slip over the marbles, if they do catch you, then they hang you up on like a coat peg by your back, so it's not too like violent for kids, but yeah, I do remember this being hard, and me and my mate tried to play it again recently, and we couldn't really get very far on it again. This one was one more my dad played on my Mega Drive, but yeah, really cutting edge for its time. The amount of shots and stuff you can take and the spin you can put on it. Never really been a snooker player or a pool player, but I've always liked watching snooker. Just like the sort of mathematical angles and stuff of it. And Yeah, real. I mean, say it's a sport where you don't run around, but a real technical sort of sport, I would say. You need like a clever mind to be good at snooker. Yeah, Ronnie O'Sullivan, the best ever, but in my opinion, Jimmy White got to a lot of finals and never won them, unfortunately, but quite a rock star kind of character in the world of snooker. But yeah, I think that's the best snooker game that there ever was on the Mega Drive. And from the Strike series, you've got Jungle Strike. So Desert Strike, the first one in the series. This is the second one. So I think I forgot to mention on Desert Strike, don't show it as good on this version, but it's an EA game. And then this obviously is an EA, so Electronic Arts. And then obviously they went on to make EA Sports, which made FIFA and that. But yeah, this, let me double check. I think the Desert Strike as well, yeah, has like a big cartridge. So it's got more megabytes, more RAM, I guess. Really used to love this one as a kid. Jurassic Park, really hard. Couldn't get, well, I got about halfway through as a kid, but must have got it at Christmas and spent the first month stuck on this certain bit where I didn't realise you could climb up a ladder in like the factory kind of level, I guess you call it, with all the electric. Yeah, a few jump scares. The soundtrack is good and creepy in terms of it's well made, but the sound effect, the way it's processed through the Mega Drive, when the man shouts and that, it's quite bad sort of sound. But the music, how do I explain it? The music is well made and creepy, but just not very well, I wouldn't say executed. It's executed well, but unlike Sonic and say Streets of Rage 2, where they really get the most out of the Sonic 2, should I say, get the most out of the sound of the Mega Drive. This one they try, and the sort of hardware seems to limit the noises a bit, and they're a bit sort of muffled and fuzzy. And then the sequel, Jurassic Park Rampage Edition. I didn't own this as a kid, but played it around my mate's house and really liked it. Kind of forgot about it and seen this in CX. I think this was about 20 about the manual, but it is a rare game. So I do play these, or at least try to. I mean, some of them when I was a kid that I really enjoyed and had a lot of patience for. I've tried to play them as an adult and can't get into them as much, but I sort of collect them for nostalgia, especially if I can get them cheap. Most of these were between £6 and £10. A few were more expensive. Lemmings. First played this at my uncle's on his Amiga. Yeah, on his Amiga, and really enjoyed it. Then my neighbour had it. I think I either borrowed it off him or played it around his house. A really original puzzle game. Sort of puzzle action game. But yeah, basically control these lemmings, and they're going to just basically keep walking forward off of cliffs and into lava and into grinder machines. And you've got, say, I think 10 different things. So you can give them an umbrella to break their fall, give them like a builder so he builds over a gap, give them like a blocker to stop the other ones whilst you do other things. So it is quite a technical puzzle game, really original, that one, on the Psygnosis, is it called? Yeah, Psygnosis label, which is one of my favourite labels, especially when I was a kid. And you've got Mickey Mania, talking to Disney ones. So this was one of the later ones, I think, on the Mega Drive. Can't actually see a year on it there. 94. But obviously, people know these ones with the kind of blue bubbles around the edge were the later Mega Drive games that were being released. Micro Machines Tournament 96. Yeah, it was actually released in 1995. Version I had was similar to this, where it had this cartridge where you can actually plug 2 more controllers, so you can have 4-player. I had the same kind of cartridge. I think there was an older version, but this one is a 96 edition with like extra tracks, and you can make your own tracks. Really tricky. Me and my mate tried to play it recently, and you can only see that far ahead. So as soon as you're about to go around a corner, you just fly off the track, but that's kind of the fun of it. But yeah, really fun party game where you're basically racing cars, tanks, got like speedboats going around a bathtub. It's all like kitchen tables, library, snooker table, all kind of household tracks. Mortal Kombat 3. I think Mortal Kombat 2 is my favourite. I haven't picked up 1 or 2 yet as an adult, although I had them as kids. But yeah, this was quite a progressive game. And again, it's got the bubbles round, so you know it's one of the newer, later releases. Same as this one, Primal Rage. Really fun beat 'em up where you can be, I think you've got 5 dinosaurs and 2 gorillas. So you've got Tempest and Blizzard, I think the gorillas are called. And then yeah, you can be like a T-Rex, like a Velociraptor, Spicariodon, is he called? The one with like the horn on his nose. You could do death moves and stuff on this as well. Yeah, I think kind of a bit of a spin-off of Mortal Kombat, but obviously with prehistoric beasts rather than, I'd say humans, rather than a normal roster of Mortal Kombat. Pugsy, this one I always wanted as a kid, but never owned. Never really played it as when I was younger, but yeah, I think I've seen this £10 or so in CEX with the manual and stuff, so picked it up. But yeah, I haven't got round to playing that one yet. Quackshot, one of the best Disney ones, a Donald Duck spin-off. So yeah, you basically shoot these little plungers out of your gun to like hold the enemies, but they'll only stay frozen for 10 seconds. So it's quite a strategic platformer. But also between the levels, you have to call. I guess it's Scrooge McDuck. Or is it Launchpad? You call one, basically comes in a biplane to pick you up, take you to different levels. When we were younger, we couldn't work out first of all once we'd done the level where to go. And you have to call the aeroplane. I think you go to like Egypt and stuff. Yeah, Castle of Illusion, the best in my opinion. I think there was World of Illusion and Land of Illusion. I think my mate had World of Illusion, used to rent it from the video shop over the weekend, and that had Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse as 2-player, and they could fly on a magic rug and stuff. Risky Woods, so another Electronic Art one. This one doesn't have the manual, still a big cartridge, but this is quite a rare one. I think I paid about 15 for that in the CEX in Bath. I was happy to pick it up. Really hard game in the style of Ghouls and Ghosts, or Ghosts and Goblins, if people know that. One of my favourites ever. Me and my mate still play this every time he comes round. Still can't complete it. The later tracks. So basically, I think you've got about 5 or 6 different tracks. But then you go up in different leagues. So you do sort of League 1, where obviously the riders have got the same bike as you. And then as you progress and earn cash, you buy new bikes. But if you crash, wreck your bike, or the police arrest you, you lose cash. Then once you get to the later levels, if you literally make one mistake, you won't win the race. And there's so many hazards, people punching you, hitting you with metal chains and truncheon clubs, cars to hit you, like 50 cars come in per track, and you can't really tell until it's too late, come over a hill and then smack into the back of them. So yeah, we've got to like the last season of the league on the best bike. You go so fast it's hard to control. And yeah, being able to finish that like last few races without one mistake is just almost impossible. My mate has literally tried it like hours every time he comes around, and it's a really fun game with a good soundtrack. And obviously you've got the original Sonic. First level is really fast and you're flying around, and Spring Hill Zone, quite a fast level. But yeah, Marble Zone, few of them are quite slow. So where everybody's got it in their brain that this is a super fast game where you're flying through the levels, it's really only the first level. But yeah, the first opening level, Green Hill Zone, the music, the colours, just really introduction to how good games could be, sort of, for me when I was younger, like I say. So this has got a lot of nostalgia. Labyrinth Zone is quite bad and often maligned, quite an annoying level. Scrapring, yeah, it's not as good a game as I remembered it when you sort of replay it. It's well made, but sort of Sonic 2, as we'll see now, not only improves on every aspect of it, but nearly every level you're flying around loops, going fast, you've got Tails to help you. Music on this is amazing. One of the best games, best sort of musical scores or soundtrack, should I say, within any game. Especially, what's it called? Mystic Ruin Zone? No, Aquatic Ruin Zone. One of the best. Chemical Plant, amazing sort of techno soundtrack. And then Flying Fortress Zone. But yeah, really fun. One of them are probably my top 3 games on the Mega Drive, along with Streets of Rage 2, which I don't own and is quite expensive to get. I haven't got any of the Streets of Rage games since I've been an adult. Streets of Rage 3, really expensive. And then, yeah, probably Golden Axe 1 or 2, or Revenge of Shinobi, another one of my favourites. But yeah, Sonic 2, sort of 10 out of 10 game. And at the time when this came out, the highest reviewed game on the Mega Drive, I think. And then you've got Sonic 3. This one's quite expensive to buy now, in this condition, with a manual and the cartridge. My mate bought it for me as a present. I think it was like a late Christmas present, as I hadn't seen him for a while, but cost him £35 in CEX. So I wouldn't have wanted to pay that myself, so I doubt he's watching, but thank you for that, mate. Yeah, good game, not as good as Sonic 2. I was about to put it up there, but I will talk about it a bit more. But yeah, basically this only has 6 levels, because it was released in tandem with Sonic and Knuckles, which Sonic and Knuckles had like an open top cartridge where you could slot other games in. So Sonic 1, I don't think it changed anything, but Sonic 2 and 3, you could say be Knuckles in the Sonic 2 levels. But yeah, there's 6 levels on this, 6 levels on Sonic and Knuckles. So once you've got the both, it's 12 levels. So it's kind of one game really, but they released it as 2 separate entities. But Sonic and Knuckles box now are looking at 65 quid or so I haven't got it. Obviously, I do have all of these Sonic and a lot of these Mega Drive games on like PS2 compilations, Xbox 360 compilations, PS4 compilations. So I've played a lot of them more recently, but a lot of the music in this Sonic 3, and I think Sonic and Knuckles, was produced by Michael Jackson's Hit Team. Some are very similar. There's one, I can't remember what level it's called, and I think Sonic and Knuckles, which is, anyone's heard the track Jam by Michael Jackson off of Dangerous? Very, very similar. Made by, like, yeah, it's Hit Team, and then because of the licensing issues, they've changed the music. So when you play it recently on, I think I've got like the Sonic Origins collection, it's different music, which isn't as good. Street Racer. Again, this is one of the newer ones, same with Sonic 3 with these like bubbles. I think it was probably from about 95 they started making these kind of different cases. So obviously, as you can see, the older cases are this kind of black and white grid. Like made, I don't know if you can see that up close, made on kind of grid paper. Yeah, one of the later, as a kid, I really enjoyed this. Bit like Road Rash, but you're in cars, bit like Mario Kart. Go around and you can punch them and hit them. But we played this recently with my mate, me and my mate as adults, and other than going around the track a few times, it does get boring quite fast. But yeah, I got that one about £8, so a nice one to have in the collection. Tasmania, really love this front cover. Really hard game. Used to like this as a kid, but when you play it as an adult, it's not a very well made game. Well, it's well made in terms of the graphics, colours, levels, but the music's quite bad, and the controls are really hard. So you go to jump and spin, you fly all the way off the screen and go down the hole, right? Sequel to that, Taz in Escape from Mars. So yeah, obviously this again is the blue kind of bubbles, so you know it's a later release. Never had this as a kid. Seen it around my mates, but I don't think we played it. But yeah, got both of those, Taz and this one in CX in Bath for like £10 each. Played it recently with my mate, and it was quite hard, to tell you the truth. A lot of these Mega Drive games are hard, where on, you know, modern games, because you can save the game, they can make a 100-hour game and make it not too hard, but you still get a lot of longevity and playability out of it. Whereas on the Mega Drive games, because you couldn't save on that, they'd have to make the game only 2 or 3 hours. So they'd have to make it really hard so that, you know, you get to the last level, die, and then you'd have to start again. So it'd take you months or a year to sort of finish the game, but you'd be doing it in dribs and drabs. So you'd have to get a perfect first level, die on the second level, restart, and you'd build your way up until you finally completed it. A few games like Castle of Illusion weren't too hard, but once the video rental market came around and everyone was renting games, they made the games even harder, especially on these like blue bubble kind of cases where they wanted you to, you know, not rent it and complete the whole game in a weekend. They wanted you to have to buy it or maybe rent it multiple times. So Streets of Rage 3, for example, known as Bare Knuckle 3 in Japan, they made it stupidly hard on like the European and American version, just for sort of money-making purposes, really. But yeah, Lion King, one of the best of the Mega Drive games, or at least based on films. Yeah, probably not as good as Aladdin, but sort of top 2 or 3. So you start as Simba, the little cub, and all you can do is jump on their heads and do a weak little roar. And then as the game progresses, you grow into the big Simba with his mane, and you can scratch the enemies, jump on them and throw them over cliffs. You can roar a lot louder and stun the enemies. But yeah, really good, very hard. I mean, this level, I don't know if you can see it on the back. No, but there's a level basically, it's a Stampede level where it's all coming towards the screen, sort of pseudo 3D, was real groundbreaking. But yeah, there's a level where, is it the, I can't remember what the level is called. It's like the second level where you're in the savannah. There's a bit where you have to jump off the ostrich's back, up the giraffe's neck, over this water. Then you have to roar at the monkeys to get the monkeys to change position. And there's about 15 monkeys in a tree, and you need them to chuck you right over the lake that you can't pass otherwise. But you have to sort of roar at a certain one, he'll chuck you, then you go to the wrong bit, and you have to sort of trial and error, work out which monkeys to roar at, and there's such a combination that I know a lot of people could never get very far on this, whereas as a kid, I think I did complete this, to be fair, although it took a lot of trial and error. Theme Park, another EA Electronic Arts release. So yeah, I'm sure everybody's heard of this or similar games nowadays. It's like a strategy game where you set up your own theme park, you've got like a budget, you build new rides, kind of introduced children to capitalism, where once you realised if you put more caffeine in the coffee, they'd be running around faster, going on more rides, put more salt on the chips, they'd buy more drinks, you could like make the queue line longer, so they put like little hot dog stores near it, so whilst they're waiting, so yeah, it was kind of taught you like marketing strategies, but yeah, a real fun game. I think you could actually save the game on this one, to be fair. So obviously, yeah, you're building your own theme park, you've got a budget. Once you've built certain things or you've got your guests up to a certain happiness level, you unlock a next tier of rides and stuff. yeah, I used to like making like the ghost trains, the roller coasters, like the dodgems, the waltzers, pirate ships. Don't know if you can see on the back bit of the gameplay, but yeah, quite a technical game really for when I was a kid. One of my favourites ever and one of the best soundtracks ever, Avengers Shinobi. This is made by Team Sega. Yeah, amazing game. A lot of people say Shinobi 3 they prefer, but I've always liked this. But yeah, soundtrack to this. Kind of got a housey kind of dance, but mixed with like a Japanese kind of edge. But yeah, really enjoy Avengers Shinobi, along with Sonic 2, Streets of Rage 2. Three of my favourite games on the Mega Drive and a 10 out of 10 game. Very hard though. I mean, like I say, a lot of these were the last bit when you was in a labyrinth and you had to do about 10 different doors in the right order. It would send you back to the start whilst fighting hard enemies and then a really hard last boss that had like a huge bit of hair he could throw at you and sweep you, and you had to save the princess, I think she was, or your girlfriend pretty much. Winter Challenge, so it's basically Winter Olympics where you've got like ski jump, slalom, what's that one called? You know, where they ski over the moguls and then they sort of do shooting from long range, like a triathlon kind of thing in the snow, bobsleigh, tobogganing is it called? Yeah, long ski jump, but yeah, fun kind of party game, bit like a Winter Olympic. I think they did a Winter Olympics, but I think I always played that Winter Challenge instead. And then Wiz and Liz, one I didn't have as a kid, although it was on my radar, but it's a Psychnosis game, same as the Lemmings. I think that's the only Psychnosis I got. Oh, and that Pugsy, sorry, was a Psychnosis. But yeah, it was known as a really good label when I was a kid. Made quite sort of innovative, quirky sort of games. So yeah, Wiz and Liz. So it has got a manual, though it's a bit battered, and it's got the cartridge. But yeah, I spoke before, to Sammy G and people about this retro shop. Sells a load of retro toys, mostly from the 70s, 80s, 90s. A load of old retro games at this, and then they sell some VHS. So yeah, I picked that one up from there. I think it's quite a rare one to find. Cost me about 15 or so. But yeah, that's all the Mega Drive games I've got. I'll do some more videos on the other consoles, should I say, games collections within my collection. So yeah, hopefully people enjoyed this. Didn't go on too long. I didn't speak about them too long, but I thought I'd show an overview of the collection. Any retro gamers, let me know of any other good Mega Drive games. I mean, there's a lot I had or know of that I don't own, so obviously I haven't showed them, but you might know some gems I don't know. Any of your favourites, anybody sort of still playing Mega Drive games would be interesting to know. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Bye.